There is a moment when truth stops waiting, not because you finally understand it, but because it can no longer remain unexpressed. This moment doesn't arrive with urgency. It arrives with inevitability. Something has been known quietly, internally, perhaps for a long time, begins to require form. Not explanation, not rehearsal. Form. And once that moment arrives, life no longer negotiates with what is false, misaligned, or delayed. That's where we're standing today. If you're listening here, you may already feel the shift. Not as pressure, but as a kind of internal clicking into place. This is your best kept secret to success. I'm Prema. This space is for those who are no longer collecting insight, but allowing what they already know to become real in their lives. If you want a clear mirror for how truth is designed to move through your life, you can take the Sacred Wealth Code quiz or calculate your Vedic astrology chart using the free chart calculator. Both links are down below in the show notes. We'll do a short Vedic astrology forecast for the current trends, and also an oracle card reading from the Sacred Wealth Code Oracle deck, and an integration practice so this lands right where it needs to for you. The field we're moving through carries a very specific quality. It's an Aquarian field, not abstract, not futuristic, but structural. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and it governs truth that belongs to collective order, not personal preference. It is the sign of the people. It's the domain of what must come through because it serves a larger coherence. When the sun, the celebrity and leader, the moon, the great nurturer, align here with Rahu, the magician, the force of amplification and inevitability stands nearby. Truth doesn't ask whether you're ready. It asks whether you're willing to let it take shape. This is not the kind of truth that lives as insight. It's truth that wants embodiment. Venus, the connector, and Mercury, the communicator, moving through this same field, refine the process. Venus clarifies what you value enough to stand behind. Mercury clarifies what can now be spoken, named, and decided without distortion. Together, they support a moment where truth becomes communicable, not as persuasion, but as form that others can recognize. And this is the key. When truth enters form, it no longer belongs only to you. It begins to organize relationships, work, leadership, and wealth around itself. If you're navigating choices that feel non-reversible, or sensing that something you've known internally is now asking for visible structure, a sacred wealth code reading or soul blueprint reading can reflect how this truth is meant to move through your chart, through your life. These aren't predictive tools, they're mirrors of what is already coming into form. And the links are down below in the show notes. And now let's drop into the heart of this transmission. Truth has phases. There is a phase where it is felt, a phase where it's known, and a phase where it's protected. And then there is a phase where it must be lived. This episode speaks to the moment when truth crosses the threshold from inner knowing into external structure. And that's why truth does not enter form until the body can hold it. Truth doesn't move directly from insight into action. It moves through the body first. This is why you can know something for years and still not live it. The body must be able to support the consequence of truth. You may notice this moment approaching when decisions feel heavier but cleaner. Options fall away without grief. Your nervous system drops negotiating. This isn't fear, it's capacity. Truth waits until the system can hold what will change once it becomes visible. This is why forcing truth into form early creates collapse. But when the body is ready, truth doesn't need encouragement. It begins to press outward. When truth enters form, choice becomes secondary. Before truth enters form, life feels full of choices. After truth enters form, movement simplifies. Not because freedom has disappeared, but because alignment has narrowed the field. And this is where many people become confused. They mistake the loss of options for limitation. But what's actually happening is refinement. Like a river narrowing as it gains power, truth entering form creates direction. You stop asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and begin responding to, "What is structurally correct now?" This isn't rigidity, it's coherence. And that's why truth in form creates jurisdiction. Once truth takes form, it establishes jurisdiction. Not dominance, not control, jurisdiction. You know what is yours to lead. You know what is no longer yours to carry. This is why certain conversations stop happening. Why certain relationships reorganize or end. Why work becomes simpler but more consequential. Truth in form does not argue for space. It occupies it. and what doesn't belong moves away on its own. Truth must be walked, not announced. There's a rhythm to truth entering form. There's a moment when inner wealth becomes shared resource, not through explanation, but through movement. This is not the truth you announce. It's the truth you walk. Others recognize it by how your life reorganizes, not by what you say. This is why mature leadership grows quieter, not louder. Truth that has entered form doesn't seek validation. It produces results. Rahu, the magician, amplifies what cannot be avoided. Aquarius ensures that what comes through serves more than personal desire. Together, they reveal a simple law. When truth is ready to enter form, it doesn't ask for belief. It asks for alignment. Reflection to sit with. What truth in your life is no longer asking to be understood, but to be lived? Sacred Wealth Mastery is a field for those whose truth has already entered form and who are ready to live inside its structure. This is not a space for exploration or experimentation. It's a space of embodiment, refinement, and coherent leadership. If you recognize this moment in yourself, you'll find the invitation down below. Let's see what archetypes want to come through today from the Sacred Wealth Code Oracle deck, which you can get through one of the links down below, along with the Sacred Wealth Code book and journal. 2 archetypes arrive together today: the King and the Queen. This pairing is precise. The King carries the mantra, "I powerfully lead my mission." This is one of the Sun's archetypes. This isn't leadership through assertion. It's leadership through jurisdiction. The King does not seek validation. The King does not ask whether the King is ready. It does not wait for permission to act. The King leads because the mission is already clear. And when this archetype appears, it marks the moment when truth has moved out of contemplation into form. The King does not speculate about purpose. The King organizes life around it. This is the Sun's authority, clarity that does not waver, and direction that does not negotiate. If this archetype resonates, it may reflect a place in your life where leadership is no longer optional. Not because of pressure from outside, but because the structure itself requires you to stand where you belong. And alongside the King is the Queen. And she carries the mantra, "I am an empowered feminine leader." The Queen doesn't mirror authority, she embodies it. Her leadership is not reactionary or performative. It's relational, embodied, and sovereign. The Queen governs what is nourished, protected, and sustained. She feels truth before it is spoken. She knows when something has matured enough to be lived. This is the moon's wisdom, the capacity to hold truth without forcing it, to lead without hardening, and to remain receptive without becoming porous. And together, the king and the queen reveal something essential. When leadership is mature, inner authority and embodied knowing no longer compete. Clarity and care move together. Structure and intuition cooperate. This is the moment when truth enters form, not through dominance, not through striving, but through coherence. If you felt a quiet convergence where knowing and responsibility are no longer separate, these archetypes are confirmation. You're not becoming someone new. You're standing where truth can now be lived. Let this not become something to understand, but something to feel settling into place. Let's integrate this. Take a breath. Let your body settle. Let your breath continue to deepen. Relax your shoulders. Relax into your seat. Now bring to mind one truth you've known internally that feels heavier lately. Not burdensome, but weightier, real. Go with the first thing that's come up. And notice where it already lives in your body. You don't need to act on it yet. Just acknowledge this. Truth doesn't enter form all at once. It enters because you are already ready to stand inside it. Take a deep breath. And let that be enough for now. If you're longing for personal clarity to align your soul's timing and gifts, a Sacred Wealth Code reading or Soul Blueprint reading will reflect the codes already written in your Vedic astrology chart in your soul. These are not predictive tools, they're sacred mirrors, and you'll find the links below, along with the links for everything else. If you feel the resonance of this transmission and want to walk in deeper coherence, you're invited to our next full moon coherence circle, held every full moon. It's not a ritual or healing session. It's a consecrated space for refinement, a live transmission field where structure, rhythm, and remembrance come alive. And if you're ready to live inside a field where truth has already entered form, Sacred Wealth Mastery is available when recognition is present. I invite you to subscribe, to follow, to like, to share with someone who might need it today. please leave me a comment. I read them all and respond. If you're listening on Apple Podcast, I appreciate you leaving a review. Your words help this message reach those who are ready. I thank you so much for being here. And remember, your soul already carries the blueprint for your wealth and purpose. And when truth enters form, life reorganizes to meet it. So much love to you.